By the way, I dumped all my plant steel into Curios, so we're running a bit different setup now.
Let's go.
XP? Dockets?
Crab is such a fucking godsend, man. They could not have gone someone better into the test. I really hope I make it next batch, just so I can literally, everything Crab says, I can be like, so true, bestie.
I want to get into the test so I can sandbag it, just like I'm doing these games.
I just give the worst fucking feedback imaginable, like on purpose.
Just the fucking the bad actor tester.
Tell them to make camo expert permanently on.
the bad actor beta tester, aka the malice plan.
Yeah. No, you did this to me, Bob.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. You go.
That's a stream snipe.
Actually, lads,
I just want.
Oh crap! I was just saying you were godsend. We're streaming, by the way. Don't leak anything confidential.
Nothing about that. I'm gonna ask you, did any of you know that snipers have a 3 or 4 second long distinct audio cue when they aim at you that actually almost always plays?
You showed it to me. No, I had no idea before that.
Yeah. Do you know why I didn't know? Because that is fucking inaudible. And, like, if anything else is happening, you can't hear it.
Yeah, it's
I'm just sitting there like, and the best thing about this is it works through walls. So if you are the primary target of a sniper, if you go behind a wall, it keeps playing if they're still got you as the primary last target.
Yeah, they should
like,
really make that way louder.
Oh yeah, but like when the number of things that is wrong with snipers. So one of the other things that I'm pretty sure we found is like, you know how when snipers go around the corner, or you go around a corner and it's like it's not the sniper shooting someone else. It's like the sniper kind of picked up their shot they were prepping somewhere else, moved it, and just dropped it.
Yeah.
Of course, sniper doing that. And
No,
I
it
cannot
did it to me
reproduce
today.
it. Yeah, I can't reproduce it in Psychania, and I'm almost certain what it is. Is it's a latency error. Because it's like, you know how, like basically the way the snipers work, they have this like number that is basically how long they've been on a particular target, but they have to execute a specific action for state exit that sets a number to 0. And what I'm pretty sure is happening is if you go out of line of sight and your client like has to update the server on your position in a way where the server essentially skips like some frames of logic, it basically says, oh, I'm having to roll back. I think it skips the tidy up step on the sniper, so it never resets its aim time. So the sniper just does its reposition action, goes into shoot action, checks how long it's been aiming. Exactly, it's like, I've already been aiming for 0.8 seconds, you're dead, kid.
That's why I've had it so many times that the sniper like sweeps with his laser, doesn't reach me yet, shoots, and I'm fucking getting shot.
Yeah. And then there's a bunch of other things. One of them is that you cut, so like, you're meant to always be able to see the laser. So the laser, like, by default, they position the laser in front of you.
Don't apologize, you didn't make me go sleep. That's not your fault.
Yeah.
Also, like, I got a shitload of stuff behind and I'm all alone and scared.
Let him die, he's not important. The laser, they try to position it in front of you, but if they start their aim
they ignored me. Came out for gaming.
If they start their aim sweep from behind you and you're facing, like, 90 degrees to their left, you never see the laser. They never position it in front of you.
I didn't see that barrel. Pretty sorry.
And then there's like, there is also a separate audio error as well. On top of all of this, there's an audio error. So I'm pretty sure we found 4 different ways that snipers don't function as intended. And one of them, which is the audio crackle, is just having the audio crackle consistently working would be so good. Because at least it's like,
you're warned in advance, so you can, even if like the warning sound fails to play, even if it plays like way too fast, you just will know.
Broken laser.
Yeah.
And the other thing that...
You shouldn't use the C word, bro, like consistently, that's...
Yeah. And the other thing that I really want you to do is basically, you know how like when you've got a visor on and there's a light shining from one side, it gives you that like lining along the side of the visor or a pair of glasses? If you're targeted by a sniper and their laser is active, I want you to put that effect on your HUD instantly, because for 2 reasons. It means you don't actually have to wait to like guess if the fucking game is going to put the laser in the right place.
Yeah.
The laser gives you extra information, it shows you where the sniper is. With that red glow, it's like in Predator, right? Dylan, check your chest. You've been marked. You need to play the game.
What about, you know, like the Call of Duty 4 fucking night vision goggles noise activation?
That's exactly what the warning is. The warning sound is like bad comms. It sounds like radio static. The problem is that...
Oh shit, I didn't hear that.
Oh no.
The problem is that like, a really substantial number of problems with audio...
Can I please grab you? No, it's pushing me back.
You get exposed. There is stuff.
Double wheel.
Yeah, really substantial.
Oh, what? What a... I mean, they could respawn. Wait, actually, no. Nah. What? I'll just stop blasting.
Well, don't stop talking now when I'm dead.
Oh, well, sorry, no. I just didn't want to, because I could tell that it was kicking off. So that. But yeah, but a very large number of problems with backstab noises wasn't actually the backstab system misfunctioning, and this is what I think was confusing them.
Keep running back so we get the early respawn.
Yeah, so I'm fucking stuck here though. You throw
Like,
grenades or some shit.
I don't have any nades. I threw all of them before.
Oh, why did you go all the way back, man? Fuck.
For the respawns, man. But yeah, like the audio engine is 90% of what's wrong with backstab sound. The backstab like implementation is actually hyperactive. If you like face an enemy and you turn away for 1 frame and turn back, it doesn't matter what frame you turn away, you get the backstab sound.
That's why you get them so many times when you're literally looking at something. Oh, she made no fucking sound.
Well, but it also there's actually another good reason for that, which is that the backstab.
No, what?
Got you.
Where the fuck was she?
Got you.
Where was she?
Oh, I didn't get you. I didn't.
What the fuck? Yeah, that clearly completed. No, that's nonsense.
Where the fuck was she?
No idea. Forward and
She was
backwards, I
inside you.
think.
No, she was inside you. She ran around the corner inside your model and you couldn't see because she put through your...
That should not have grabbed.
Oh, come on. Yeah, I'm still... There's nothing on there.
But yeah, basically the way the... I mean, one sense
Lots
correct,
of
the way
guns. Can do with that in a sec. Hold on.
The way the backstab sound works is it's actually FOV independent, which is probably good, right? So it doesn't make any assumptions about what your setup is, you just get the same information either way. But it does mean that, like, you know how when you're in a horde, sometimes like an enemy literally that's on your screen but to the far right will just trigger a backstab sound?
Yeah.
That's a trade-off I'm willing to make, but I can see why they thought it worked. Because if you... Like, they've made it so
So what you're saying is
aggressive.
like my suspicion from V2 was right, which is based on like a set field of view, like something like 70 degrees. So if your FOV is like 110 and something that's clearly visible for you, the game thinks, oh, he can't see that. Yeah.
No, but that's... Yeah, exactly, but that's actually the best implementation. Because what that means is you always get the same information presented by the game in an audio sense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill myself.
And one way to think about it is that if you made it purely FOV sensitive, then if you were a blind person or a vision impaired person, you don't give a shit what your actual FOV is, right? You're playing on 50, but you want the same audio information, the same audio landscape if it's good and consistent. And a bunch of stuff is like, you know how when crushers are near you, their footsteps are like the loudest shit in the world. And one of the things that, again, it's like a sensible thing is that the audio engine tries to prioritize information that is what they judge to be high priority. And
fails to properly classify it as high priority.
Well, I mean, I think it's competing. Like, it's just competing priority, and it is like, it's just different volume sounds, different mixing, and just it's just like with the sound, with the sniper sound. They want it to be like a quiet signal, right? Because they don't want the sniper to just like show up and be like klaxon.
Yeah, he wants to be. They want it to be unique compared to the other special, so it makes sense.
Exactly. But the problem is, it's like that's actually a really difficult thing to do. And I'm not saying that it's okay that they fucked it up in that sense. But what I mean is, it's understandable that that's the particular one of the many things that is broken. But it's also like, why set yourself that objective? I want to have a clearly audible, like, quiet static noise. That's really difficult. If you then dynamically are mixing the sound, that's triply difficult because every single mixing option that messes around with relative sound levels has to be aware of what... And that is a really big chunk. So I'm pretty confident, without saying too much, that many of the current problems that people have will not reoccur. The problem is, backstab sound is very much a 95% good enough, still is bad. So, and a couple of people
just give him a couple more years, maybe a whole new trilogy of TAD games, and we'll fucking get there, man.
Well, I mean, I will say that certainly one of the I have really been trying to get, in particular, snipers and a couple of other specialists under control.
Oh shit! I didn't realize that was a barrel.
Like,
whoops.
Anyone who's played High Shock has just you know, the edge cases for specialists are one of the most frustrating things in the entire game.
Yes.
Like, just straight up. And I will happily commit to 75% of specialists being wildly better than that. I can't say what the changes are, but I will just say that if you think about what is the most frustrating and obviously frustrating thing about every single specialist, most of those obvious ones have been addressed, even if not necessarily remaking it.
That's really good to hear, man.
Even latency considerations, like I played a game with 150 latency, and I was not having a weird interactions with grabs and drops.
Have they fixed mutants?
I'm not going to commit to an answer on the specific thing, and I'm also going to say that mutants in particular are a little bit complicated. They are definitely better.
Whoa.
Mutants also now are more interactive with other systems, so there are more things you can do with them.
Can I stagger a mutant?
I can't answer that question, but I would say that there's certainly more gameplay certainly associated with weapons that are currently not that favoured. But I mean, the other thing they've done is they've in general
You got a
like,
shitload of guns ahead.
the base HP changes I think are really good. Melee feels in a much better place overall relative to range, but anyway, I'm not going to talk about it. But basically, I just think that it's like any time you've been messing around with something like this, what you always end up thinking about is like the stuff that you wanted to be different, and it's still the fucking same. So I will definitely say that I think that everyone should actually be genuinely like.
Everyone should do what?
Is it good? Everyone should basically be like, the game is going to be an almost objectively less code. And one of the biggest things is the performance.
That's really good. Why can't they just push this shit live? The game that has been running on dumpster performance for so long now.
The short answer is that they've, you know, it's one of those things where they just have forked. Like they got a forked version of the game, and if you want to merge it, you have to like go through all the divergences. And it's like, it absolutely, probably is not, like, you know, it might be a certain amount of time on the program, but I think a very large number of the decisions that have been made for prioritization reasons. There's not enough time, quite clearly.
Yeah, it's only been, what, 8 months since the game's been out? 9 months?
Well, I'm gonna say, what I mean is that there's not enough time to do everything that I think they should do. As you might say, should some of those things have been more obvious.
Oh my god, I thought that was one of you guys. Sorry.
But yeah. I don't know. Anyway, but I'm skirting on the borderline of heresy anyway. But I just want to say that, like, yes, but also specifically, I was going to say thanks to everyone who submitted specifically feedback about snipers, because
have you submitted the thing about the ping, like how snipers do the sound warning correctly on 230 ping or so, but on 40 ping it's like almost instant. It's like boom.
Oh shit.
Well, that was one of the comments. Is basically that they're pretty sure that
Sniper, right side.
That one of the sound areas is like basically a network thing, right? Like when they play a sound, basically there's a network process that propagates the sound plane. And what they're pretty sure is happening with the sound for snipers is basically that for whatever reason, they're using basically they have different methods of playing a sound, some of which are more aggressive or less aggressive. I don't know the exact details, but basically they were just like, we're going to try using a different method of playing sound that should consistently propagate across all the clients.
I have one last question. Did they make sure to migrate the bugged thrust and charge interaction onto the other Sillet skills, just so I'm sure that if I use any skill at all, I will lose all my thrust stacks? Like, did they make sure to port that? So you can get that bug on everything. Yeah, you should make sure to test.
I haven't. No, that's actually a really good shout. I haven't mentioned that. I need to double check that right now, actually.
But
that is
they
a
should
really
make sure
complicated
that
one to take.
they should make sure that every time the seller pushes his F button, he loses thrust. It's very important.
So wait, so this is probably true of Cypher? No, it's not true of Cypher actually, because I know that you can shout with Cypher.
You say he has to lose thrust.
I'm being sarcastic.
I don't know how many games it cannot be allowed to win.
Oh no!
I'm nading.
Please, there's two bosses, pick up instantly, see how that works?
Thank you.
Actually, I'm just gonna run away.
Run back.
You hardly took ping damage. That was interesting.
But yeah.
I can't believe that shot landed. Holy fuck! I had to like recorrect
would.
my aim after that.
I'm pretty sure that the dev time to quality of life improvement is pretty big on that one.
No, I absolutely, but also it's a really straightforward, concrete, reproducible bug that someone mentioned and I forgot, and thank you for mentioning that, because one of the
No worries.
is like I kept because there were so many different bugs with snipers. Like, I submitted the first one, I was like, alright, it's done, I've finally shown the silent one. And then I was like, wait, but there's some other shit they do, because I'd actually caught a sniper doing the repositioning thing. Like, literally doing it to me.
Why
One
did you just fucking...
of the things about the repositioning thing is specifically that they never cancel a shot from the Psychania. If you line of sight a sniper, they always finish their shot. But what this is on live is anytime you see a sniper charge up their shot, the scope flash you hear the sound where they don't shoot, someone's about to get fucked.
Yeah.
Like,
Someone's gonna come out of cover and immediately get clapped.
Exactly,
They're not gonna they like
Yeah.
don't reset their shot either, just like stay saved, right?
Yeah, you know, exactly. And specifically, it's the way they work is they have this incremented time for how long they've been on target. It has a little bit of variation, but the idea is that they have like an update aim function that every time it triggers. If they're leaving or going to another state, it sets it to 0. I really think it's a straightforward state management problem. If it doesn't exit the state cleanly, and I think what's happening is it's just the state is not being exited cleanly when the server is having to like negotiate lag, because it only happens.
I can't believe I ever said that up like that.
It's an all that shit.
All right, so.
Real?
Oh no!
There's
Yeah,
so many
okay.
dogs.
Good. I shall continue.
Oh, get the fuck back, boys. That's like a million boosters coming. Spawn as well? Real? How does is the spawn grab fixed in any way?
I actually don't have a one-set spawn grab.
Because that's like
grab-
so fucking bad right now.
Without going into specifics, I know the behavior of some notable grabby grabs is massively improved.
Nice. Netter?
Is it perfect? Netta, honestly, I don't think I have a good answer to that one.
I was calling out a netter, dude.
Oh, I see. Right. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
so-
what I mean, but it made sense. What's next?
Fine. Holy shit, this fucking game.
Okay, done.
Thanks,
Come on, Dom, to do a pull-up now.
It's not your fault. Don't chuck it to me.
No, I changed to the smallest cylinder there is.
Oh shit, not on me anymore.
Yeah. Good on me. Fucking hate chaos bombs so much.
Don't worry. They hate you more than you hate them.
There's so many.
Who is the one talking? That's Tiny Angry Crab, who hasn't made any content for the game, but is currently in the beta test. He is one of the most intelligent video game players I think I've ever met. Fascinating, super interesting guy, very eloquent. And
Oh, shit.
thank him for his
Wait, no.
service, because what he's doing for the
You
game
gotta
is
fuck all the
massive.
shooters coming in. Like,
He's based.
inside patrol of gunners.
I'm doing alright.
Oh, I'm dead.
I'm dying. I'm dead.
Thank you. Oh, nice one. Fucking... I had a
Crab
rush.
is
Holy shit.
Crab is exceptional. But if he doesn't get me in the next beta, then he's no longer cool and not invited to my birthday party.
Any beta slurpers?
I'm slurping.
I would. I should begin as well.
Dog behind us left. Got him. Double ghost hit, very nice. Revolver doesn't
We
get
don't have
any
any
ghost
shooters,
hits.
we can just move forward.
Boss, real? I think? Never mind. I thought he'd be coming out of the wall.
Here he
You
is.
come up.
Weak.
Okay, I'll go slam it.
Grenade on him. Oh, he's
Oh, let's
hitting.
move forward. There's no shooters front, so we should keep moving.
I'm pulling.
Brained it.
But you shouldn't shoot him in the head, you tweak him in the back.
Shoot him in the mouth. Be the real kid, so.
In the spot that is weak.
Face for that 1,000 damage bullshit. Like, just face for it. It'll happen.
Does it, you know when he extends his mouth, does it actually give you more damage than just shoot him in the body?
Right. So I just need to record it and that one's on the list. Alright, so I have bug reported that one, that's a really good shout. Because the other thing is that's not true for Psycho, so that's 100% inconsistency.
I have no, whatever you just said was just like a pure fucking babble. I didn't understand a single word.
My dear boy, thrust has been documented and reported. The interaction is very clearly a bug, as the Psycho shout does not interrupt thrust charging, and therefore...
Thank you.
Oh, the stamble from the in-game, oh.
Oh, so that is...
inconsistently inconsistent. Oh no.
Well, but I mean the thing is, like, for when you're reporting bugs like that, if you can demonstrate that this is very clearly consistent behavior with like, the other mechanics, then it means that they don't even have to check if it's...
Just like bird side the map.
They just do it.
And then you make the comparison to something that's clearly working as intended, and say, if you don't fix this, you should fix the thing that's intended. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to wrangle game devs like that.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, it's also just that, like, you know, a lot of the guys who are fixing stuff, they're just like random programmers who are just looking.
By the way,
it's like if you have to speak to a designer, it's like, oh yeah.
But I would say, poor guys, they are in such a crunch right now.
Yeah. 100%.
Like they are like, from what I can been able to tell, like the 10-month crunch, dude. Like all the work they haven't done, all the vacations, man, that's coming back to haunt them right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I will say is one of the depressing things about this experience in some ways is just how nice and sort of good everyone who we directly interacted with has been, and how much like.
I know that we enjoy being negative, but there is obviously talented people who care about the game, otherwise we would not still be here.
But here's what, and I've said this like so many times,
oh
please,
shit,
for the love of God, just talk to the player base.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Just communicate. Because there are so many things where it's just like, even if it was like, so there are some things, right, that have been not great for a while, like, you know, Psycho stuff, right? And if they just literally said, you know, we are aware of the fact
someone dropped an ammo.
It's not great, you know, there's not very many of them, then, you know, we want to do this properly. We don't think like just a number shuffling and taking some lessons from other weapons is going to be an appropriate solution, and if we did that and called it fixed, it would be shitty. So we're going to put serious effort into it, but it'll be later. We don't know when yet, sorry. Like, even just saying that, he's actually saying we're not doing it.
And people would have been getting like excited because like they lied, they like straight up lied. Their first post was like, you know, we're going to be releasing a new subclass every quarter, when they knew they weren't going to be releasing a new subclass. They were just going to make this because they were already working on it. And instead of saying that, they could have been like, hey, we know the classes kind of suck at the moment. We're not happy with the way they worked out in Vermintide 2. We have a better system in the works currently. Here's like a snippet of what it's going to look like. We don't know when it's coming out. It's coming out later. People would have been excited to know
I'm hacking.
that like they understand some of the deeper problems with the game, like in a way that's like intelligent. And that they are doing something about it in a way that's also intelligent.
Yeah, I mean, and there's.
God, how does that?
Well, what the hell? I want them helped by something.
You're saying that humans like recognizing their problems.
East, front, door.
The yellow? Yeah, they
Did we
Dude,
touch the
I'm
door?
getting so many ghost hits with the revolver at the moment.
I think what really is going to be telling is not so much what happens on October, but the quarter after.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's my hope. It's like, cool, you're gonna release this. It's gonna be broken because of course it's gonna be. Like it's not even gonna be like fetch work bad, haha. It's just no, you can't make something on that scale on having completely broken. So now the question is, how will they handle it after launch?
Yeah,
and will they go back into like complete silence for 10 months and not focus on fixing the core issues with the fucking game?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing I would say is that one of the things about the current state of the game is that the stuff that is broken, it isn't that there's like lots of things that are interesting and fucked up. It's just that there's a small number of things that are fucked up and a lot of stuff that doesn't do anything, and that's it. I think that the term broken is interesting. I think the overall consistency of the game will get a lot more varied, in the sense that there will definitely be greater and lesser performance, but I also think that crudely
that's good.
The sort of if you were to just say like the outcome balance, where it's like the number of different things you can do that are good enough to not be like, you know, when you take a loadout that's not just like not very good, but
when
also
you take a Surge stat.
Yeah, like, well, I mean, Surge, like the problem with Surge stuff is that there's someone who likes it somewhere, and I don't know who they are, but like, if you just say to people, is your fantasy of being a space wizard essentially being a walking taser? No one says yes to that. Like, you say, what is your fantasy about
Hello,
throwing a lightning bolt?
Mr. Palpatine.
Yeah. Well, extremely limited power, I yell as 6 pots walk us to there, taking
Eight.
not very much
8
damage.
pots.
Eight.
Oh, you're
False
right,
information.
you're right, sorry.
No, but Dom makes a fair point, right? Like, it is a fantasy of some people to be like the Emperor and like fucking lead, like...
Yeah, but I mean...
But the fantasy is about electricity, it's not the way Surge is currently played, because the way Surge is currently played fulfills absolutely no fucking fantasy whatsoever.
And the key issue with the implementation of Surge right now is that CC is something that the game prices highly. And I'm not saying it necessarily does that consistently, but think about like stagger blessings, right? If you want to turn your Devil Claw into a slightly better stagger machine, you're expected to spend blessing slots on that, right? If you want to improve your melee impact, you have to spend, like, it's expensive. So if you have Surge Craft, which literally just says, fuck, 8 enemies at the same time. Fuck the mutant, nothing else fuck the mutant, right? Like, you cannot have a weapon that does that.
Auto
and it's
pistol,
also-
any gun, MG12.
well, I mean, they would...
Stop a mutant and strike. Like, you can see what Crab is saying, right? Like,
Yeah, no, but the point about
according
those
to
things
the
is
logic that stagger is super important, then the Surge Stab is actually super strong and needs to be nerfed so it can only hit a...
Well, but the other thing is
Prove it
also
just
that,
as
like,
that part.
yeah, and the other thing is also that it's like if you were to say if the threats in the game were better calibrated and elites, for example, were more threatening, the ability of Surge to lock down 8 elite actually gets like
If
it
6
does
crushers
that.
was
But
actually
trauma
a problem,
exists.
then the ability to...
Sure, trauma. I'm not saying that it's like completely unique, but the point about trauma is that even trauma, like the other thing about Surge is this, right? What do you think about when using the Surge stuff? Did you aim? Nope.
Nothing.
Do you even have a timing question? Nope. You charge
I mean,
it.
in theory, it's the target priority, right? Because you can somewhat aim your first target. Right?
Nope.
Oh yeah, you don't need to.
Not in mass.
Yeah, like
You kinda can, but
Not in mass.
yeah, it's inconsistent, right?
But the other thing is, if you look
In
at really
theory,
good
you
players using Surge, they're very clearly not engaging in the mechanics of the weapon at all. It's literally just like, it's literally filler activity while they focus all their attention on movement. And the only thing you do is very minor power management. Now,
You're
have a weapon,
completely disengaged from the game when you Surge. It's like really unhealthy.
but also, the strength of that weapon is in turning enemy AI off.
Yeah, not only is it like not engaging to use, but then the consequence of it is like makes the game more boring. It's like pressure.
Yeah. And like, and if Surge gets really good, let's imagine that they like over-buff the shit out of some category of elites. It literally doesn't matter what numbers you put on crushers if the Surge stuff continues to exist. Because at any second you're like, oh well, you know, everything in the horde except for 4 crushers is dead, and they essentially don't exist as long as that Surge player is alive. And so I just hate weapons like that. It's like, if it's ever good, it's terrible for players, because players then have to use a boring fucking weapon. If they want to be like really competitive.
It's the support class dilemma all over again.
Yeah, and then, but they say, okay, well then we'll make it an interesting weapon and make it do damage. Okay, now you've just made it a weapon that does infinite CC and also infinite damage. Good shout.
Give it rending shockwave.
Just rework the way it works, man. They've tried having auto-aim stuff in their games like in the past, and it's never worked. It's never interesting. It's never it's impossible to balance because, like as you said, with a weapon that literally doesn't require aiming, literally makes you as disengaged from the game as humanly possible. You're purely concerned about like, okay, it's always going to be too weak or too fucking strong, and there's no possibility for it to be interesting.
So Grim the Chad showed me a Vermintide 1 video of him using bolt stuff. And like, part of the point he was making was
Climb! Thank you.
this weapon was criminally overpowered. But I was looking at it, I was just like, this weapon is so much mechanically better than Surge, it's actually funny.
It is. And it was still something we complained about because it was horrible for the game.
But no, I mean, in balance concerns, and like it was too good. But also, like, you can curve the projectiles around corners, right? Like,
wait,
just
what
that.
does do in Vermintide 1?
True flight.
Yeah.
Oh.
And like, you know, that's exactly
Wait, it was
what.
just alpha, F basically in every shot. But Yelp had like so many calls too in Bull, right?
Yeah. But the point is that even that weapon, it was physically simulated. It was a projectile in space. It had this like kinetic effect. It was funny to use, actually. Like when I was looking at it, I was like, look how fucking vicious, like it's so fast. It's like, oh hell yeah, these guys are getting pounded. You know, and that's just the thing, is like Surge just, even in their history of boring, like overpowered broken staves, it's a shit one.
It's the worst one,
Yeah. And that's across the board. Like, the Psycho has 4 class-defining weapons. 2 of them are mechanically, like, one's a boring flamer, the other is a taser, and then they have the trauma, which is like, it's
not
mid.
super interesting, but at least it's like fun to use.
Yeah, exactly. It has 3 things going for it. It's got a unique aiming style, which is you place an AoE. It's got like an interesting niche in the sense that it's almost like target agnostic damage. Like, it doesn't do amazing damage against everything, but you always get damage against everything. Like, you never hit something with a trauma and go, oh, it did nothing. Like, you know, you're not one-shotting crushers, but you see.
But you're being better than a surge staff at stunning them, while also killing the stuff around them.
And you still have to aim, and you still have to
actually do damage to the crusher. Like,
yeah, exactly. That's cool. Yeah, it's like decent CC, but you have to think about it. And if you're under pressure, like the aiming step actually becomes a little bit difficult. With Surge, it's the opposite.
You have to prioritize. Do I get the Giga Dance stuff that's a bit further forward and I have to dodge the stuff that's directly in front of me, or do I get the stuff directly in front of me off of me, and then later I focus on stuff. Like there's a lot of micro decision making that you do when you're playing Trauma that you would never have in a million years when you're playing fucking Surge. Surge, you literally never think about anything.
Yeah.
Also, how do you fix chain weapons, Simmerg? Every activation weapon except for I think Thunderhammer, like at least the Crucis. I think the Crucis just needs tweaking, as opposed to a complete rework. But every other activation weapon, every other activated weapon should be like part of the combo. You do the activated thing.
Yeah, I mean, my feeling about activation weapons, as I've kind of ended up splitting a bit. Well, I basically think that if you took the current chainsword, just sped it up so the sword part felt really good, and just left the activate on it as being like a much faster activation, and essentially just be like, okay, the chainsword is the one that has that model, right? Like, that is the one that has the activation. And the reason for this is basically that the chainsword is a light weapon. If you want to lock yourself into killing a single target, you make yourself vulnerable, that's a trade-off using
Real
light
spawn.
But then the Eviscerator is not right? The Eviscerator should be the Rev is the weapon.
How many spawns are there? One or two?
Just one.
He's on me.
Like,
I think, no, he switched aggro, I think. Did he switch aggro? Where is he?
Yep, he got me.
Oh, coming up.
Pieces, baby.
Oh, fuck!
Lots of stalkers in the back. Matter.
yeah, activation weapons.
Bram, did you talk to the like level design team at all? Probably not.
Oh, does that?
No, we didn't test any levels.
Because I'm just watching Tello's stream, right? And I'm reminded of something that used to bother me a lot.
Yeah, shut up for a sec. No offense.
Dead. Fucking dead. Hey,
No
tell me
arm
more.
loss damage.
Now I can fucking hate list.
Oh, he's picking, okay.
You know,
It's blocked. Holy shit.
it's this spawn. There's a beast of burger. There's gaming happening. There's gaming.
Okay, we're good.
Holy shit. God damn.
Alright, so something that used to like bother me a lot at the start of Dark Tides, and I kind of got used to it now, but I'm watching Tello play and I'm reminded of it, is that
I
in
don't see
Dark
any
Tide you
damage.
always run back basically. Like the correct play 99.9% of the time is to run back.
No,
Remember that they truly had a system where like oftentimes the right play was pushing through.
I can't say anything specific about that. I will say that there is the intention is that running back is no longer the
Running backwards here was not the play. The play was going forward to this area, or even dropping down and then like.
As long as there's no
True, but
shooters,
this is like the
you can walk
0.1%
forward.
of the time, right? Like
That's not
almost
necessarily
every
true.
area.
The 99% of the time when you're running backwards is because the respawn system is completely broken. You would play the game completely differently if that wasn't broken.
Oh wait, sorry. Just
talk about
It's not an inherent level design problem. Also, it's also the fact that you don't have the toughness economy to support diving a lot of the time. That was a beautiful backstab with no sound. I fucking love it.
So just check, was that question about pulling back when enemies are aggroed on you, or pulling back when players die?
The question was kind of gonna be like, do they realize that they had a system in Commentate 2 where like pushing through was oftentimes the right choice, and here it's
Pacing mattered,
very
yeah.
often not.
I think
It's not just pacing mattered, it's also like the verticality was different too. Like remember how many times we like used steps to like kite them around and stuff?
There's a lot of that in
Nothing
Dark Tide.
more.
You just never play with it because range units make that impossible.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think it's also though that, so you know, let's imagine 6 rages show up. What do you do about 6 rages?
Shoot the fuck.
You instantly
Pull
kill them.
back, shoot.
Instantly kill
those
them.
dragons,
So
right?
like if you think about every single melee threat, there are 2 melee threats that could be a consistent source of pressure: crushers and maulers. And one of the things about the way the game currently works is you don't get dynamic elite spawns. You only get dynamic specialists and poxwalker spawns. So I would say
Do you want me to press the button?
Yes.
I like the
the
in
game
the
is different.
Just gonna
There
get
was
this.
not a high level discussion of things
If I die,
at
it's
that
my
level
fault.
just because we weren't
at that
really
fist.
there.
in Vermintide there was this thing where on Cataclysm elites could spawn inside hordes.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, I can't say this. I will say that some of that stuff is different. There has been they have 100% looked at many of the things that are like you know how one of the things is at the moment when you play the game, everything always feels the same. Like, you know, once you kill the elites, it's just specialist spam and it's just voxels.
And it's a shame because the Tide games have like such a good foundation for replayability and for different threats that behave differently. But Dark Tide just kind of dropped the ball with it.
And I will say that like, you know, that many of those core systems do feel very different, and they're like, and I think this is one of the reasons that there's that some of this stuff was delayed from live. Is some of that stuff I think had a more structural change than just like messing with it a little bit. Weapon balance is a moving feast, movable feast. I think. Again, obviously. Oh, sorry. Well, there's this expression, movable feast. So like a feast day that can be on a different day. There does seem to be a genuine interest in making every single weapon good. Not all weapons are designed to feel as strong as each other.
How about making them interesting? I don't think Eviscerator needs a buff. I think Eviscerator needs a rework. I don't think Chainsword needs a buff. I think Chainsword needs a rework. I don't think Powers, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah. So this is basically like one of the problems is that it's much easier to, when you don't have much time and someone says there is a weapon that's massively underperforming, it's much more obvious to look at it and say, we don't have time to do a full animation and redesign of this thing where a designer sits down with a programmer and an animator and they spend
the game's only a year old, man. I agree. No time.
Well, but I'm saying the problem is from the point of view of,
oh,
like,
my
you know,
frame rate, good god.
Yeah.
Basically, as you said, the point where that level of feedback was being solicited, partly because obviously those designers are working on other stuff beforehand, I assume. I can't honestly say, they haven't said, but the point is just that the effects on weapons of changes, it has been something a lot of people have talked about. On average, I think things are mostly better, simply because there are a larger number of weapons that I think are like more weapons that kind of get closer to being able to do what the weapon should do. Because you know how like there are weapons right now that they just, you know, there are weapons where it's like this is meant to be this, and it just doesn't do the thing that a thing like that should do.
Oh, we didn't get stuck for 3 years. Let's go.
Let's go back.
But yeah, I mean, that's let's just say that it's also one of the problems. Also, is that if you are just a playtester, one of the issues is that, for quite good reasons, designers in general don't listen to your suggestions for specific things to do. They listen to what you don't like. And one of the problems with this is that, unfortunately, very often, I suspect I know a lot more about how a weapon works than many.
Which is normal.
Yeah, like, and yeah, I'm a player. I've spent 1,500 hours playing the fucking game. These guys are professional. Like,
exactly.
You know, they work on the game, right? And so it's like, you know, I'm an autist who uses Devil Claw 7 and I know every single combo for it. So like, it's obvious to me that if you wanted to buff X, you have to also buff Y, or the moveset stops working.
My beloved thinks the streamer is an asshole that knows nothing about anything.